okay, real contra. I don't drink coffee.
I knew it.
It was real scary, like going from like having like quite a secure job to then going totally self-employed, and I knew nothing.
Give me that microphone, let me get a few things off the chest. I remember them student
Yo,
days.
welcome to the PT Portal podcast. This is the podcast by PTs for PTs. I'm Marcus, and this is Derek, aka D. Ruckus.
Yes, sir.
It's still him. The Ruckus. We're here to bring you tangible information on the PT industry. We are here to give you things that you can use in your day-to-day PT career. Derek, we have another guest.
We do have another
You
guest.
happy to take this away?
Yes. So on today's episode, we have a special guest here with us. She is a personal trainer in Christchurch, New Zealand. She is a Les Mills instructor. In her spare time, she enjoys long walks on the beach and coffee dates. We only met her a week ago, but that was kind of the point that we were going for. We wanted to attack this in a different light and kind of get an outside perspective rather than having someone that we knew or had connections with directly. We wanted to see what other people were doing. And a lot of those people we do have connections with generally have similar views to us. So it's kind of exciting. We're probably going to learn a lot about this person, just like everyone else listening will. But without further ado, we would like to welcome our special guest, Polly.
Hi. Thank you.
Hey, Polly.
Thank you.
How are you?
I enjoy that. Can you do that every time?
Yeah, just every day when you wake up, you'll
Yeah.
record it.
That could be, yeah, actually, if it's on the podcast, I'll just save
For you,
it. Yeah.
we'll clip it for you.
We got
Yeah,
that
yeah,
for
we'll
you
send it
easily.
through. Sweet. First things first, though, what's your coffee order?
Oh, okay, real contra. I don't drink coffee.
I
knew
I knew that was going to happen, so I might have made
So-
some of it up, but yeah.
Yeah, no, like a hot chocolate or like a chai latte is
We're talking about it before you showed up. I was like,
really.
I wrote this in there and I'm like, the funny thing will be if she doesn't drink coffee. And then it happened.
Yeah, no, I just like learnt about chai lattes though, because I always thought chai lattes like were coffee.
Yeah.
And then my brother was like, no, it's like an adult hot chocolate. And I was like, oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I'm going to start ordering those.
Apparently everyone that like tries to get off coffee loves them though.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Do you drink coffee? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your order?
So flat white. What? What's wrong with flat white?
Nah, nothing.
Golly.
What's yours?
Flat trim white. Wait.
what?
Flat trim.
Flat trim.
Flat trim.
Oh, is that what you call it?
Yeah, I used to do a Americano.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I used to do Americano with cream. You don't drink coffee.
I don't have any idea what
So
you're talking
pretty
about.
much
So
like,
yeah.
it's literally just
Funny story though. CrossFitters love coffee, and then when I first started doing CrossFit to like try and get in amongst them, I used to try and go to their coffee dates or whatever. And then I had never drunk coffee, so like we got into this cafe, right? And the only coffee that I knew was a short black, just because I like had heard it on like movies and shit.
don't lie. It's because everyone called you that at CrossFit. Everyone called you that at CrossFit. It's your nickname.
Fucking violation.
That was your nickname at CrossFit. They told me.
bro, this
This little shot of coffee came out, and I nicked it like I was him.
And then you're like, and you're in the back of your head, you're like, God, this tastes like dirt.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Anyway, shit yarn.
Anyway, thanks, Polly, for joining us today on the podcast. We really appreciate it. Very sporadic. We got in contact with you like early this week, and you were the MVP and decided to come on tonight, which is we're super grateful for. So thank you for coming.
No worries. I think what you guys are doing is real cool. So, because like I don't think anyone else. Well, I haven't heard of anyone else doing it. So it's cool.
Nice.
Cool.
We like that too. We might clip that for us. Actually.
We really just wanted to talk about your personal training experiences that you've had in the industry, what you've found hard when starting, and if maybe that varied between like female and male PTs. Like, I don't know, there's conversations around that. We want to talk a little bit more in depth about like your sales procedures and what it is that you do to keep your conversion rates super high and your clients coming back for more week to week. So that's kind of what we're going to dive into today. Yep. So maybe we should just get to know Polly a little bit better, ask her some questions and see what she has to say.
She like just this random chick's rocked up. Like she's just like
She
messaged
looks
her,
like
she
a
turned
PT,
up.
you know,
Yeah.
she looks like a PT. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'll work.
Should we, like, I know this is going to be super generic, but let's just start with your background.
Yeah. Okay.
obviously you have an accent, so
Oh, okay, cool.
start from your beginnings. You can go whole life story. Yeah, you can go. Joe did. Took us ages to get to the point, eh?
Yeah, and it's funny because we both know him, so we
You
didn't,
know.
we didn't really need to know
We
about
know,
it.
bro.
No one asked. Nah.
Yeah.
You can skip all the other stuff, but yeah. Where you from?
Okay, sweet. Yeah, so I'm from England originally. It's funny because some people really can't tell and other people can because my friends love to like rip it out of me that I've picked up like a real Kiwi accent. So yeah. I love going home. But they, no, I actually do. But no, they, I'm from England and from like Essex. Everyone know Essex or like, yeah.
I feel like that's like a commonplace, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they always rip out the accent, right?
Yeah. So I'm like from the edge of Essex, like right on the border, like as like an hour from London. So that's where I'm from.
Is that like when people are from like Gore here, they say like, oh, I'm actually really from like Invercargill?
Yeah, kind of, but I'm like actually from Suffolk. So like, if anyone's like, I don't know, like a football fan or a soccer fan, it's like Ipswich Football Town.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard of them?
I'm not a football fan,
Nah.
but we'll agree. Yeah,
Okay,
for
yeah,
sure.
And I moved to Christchurch like 9 years ago. Yeah, so I came over here.
What's your family or?
Nah, actually with my ex. I came over with my ex.
Oh,
yeah.
Should we dive into this?
Yeah, no, it's always I'm sometimes I just say I moved here with my partner and people are like, oh, you're the one you're with now? And I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. End of conversation.
Yeah.
That's Kiwi, yeah. He is.
Yeah. So I moved over here and then, I traveled around New Zealand like before I moved here. So I loved it, moved here. And then I got a job as a travel agent. And I was kind of like, I'll just do it for a couple of years. And I'll do that for a couple of years. And then I like ended up actually really enjoying it and I loved it. And I guess like in terms of PT, when I grew up, I've always been real sporty, like play netball, I played rugby, played sevens, played like hockey, played like any sport you can think of when I was a kid. So I was like one of those people who was just like kind of really like not really excellent at any sport, but like kind of like quite good at all of them. So I just kind of did like, yeah.
I feel like everyone that has that like growing up just has become a PT.
Yeah. I feel
Yeah,
it's a real.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then I moved here, like loved netball, played netball for a bit. And kind of like only really got into the gym stuff like when I was like maybe like just after uni, like I was like 20, 21, like kind of got into the gym, started doing like that Kayla at Cena's like workout, like HIIT workouts. I don't know if you've heard of her, but like Aussie fitness influencer.
I feel like I have potentially, yeah.
Yeah, it's she's pretty popular anyway. She's like crazy rich now, but yeah, I did it when they were like, you ordered like a PDF and they emailed it to you. Yeah, like
Before apps.
Yeah, it's an app now, but like, yeah, I'm old as well, by the way. So, where was I going with this? Yeah, I did travel and then like just always loved the gym and I started going to Les Mills like a couple of years after I moved here. Like I just gone to Jets before and I just kind of like did my own thing.
Is there a Jets in England?
Nah.
Oh, right.
Nah.
You're going to Jets here.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. No. So yeah, in the UK, I worked at a school in like the sports department. And I just used the gym at the school. I literally had like the key, so I'd just go whenever I want. So, but I like never did weights or anything. Like it was all cardio hit, like kind of like what was the rage like then, especially for like females. So, like, oh, you can't do weights, like you get big. So was in travel. I've gone like real roundabout here, but like, yeah, started at Jets, went to Les Mills, just like my friend just took me because I was like, oh, I don't want to go to Les Mills. Like, I was like, oh, I don't know if I'll fit in. And she took me to a class and it just like was not anything like I expected it to be. It was like a real cool place. Like, obviously, because I'm quite biased now about the place. So I like went and never left basically. So I turned up, like did a grit class, which for those who don't know is like a high intensity, like 30 minutes high intensity class. My friend almost also made me do like a 30-minute core class, which I thought was hell. But now I teach it. So I just totally loved it. Like fell in love with fitness all over again. While I was kind of doing travel, COVID hit. And like everyone's in our industry was being made redundant. And me and my friends all sat around and they were like, oh, what would you like if we got made redundant and like you won the lottery and you still had to go to work. Like you still want to go to work, but money is like not an issue. And I was like, oh man, I like love the gym. Like I'd do something in the gym. Like whether it's like PT or like group fitness. And then I was like, shit, why don't I like do group fitness? And I had a PT. So Nat was my PT. I guess like for context, she's not a PT anymore, but she was a PT at Les Mills. And she was so awesome. Like introduced me to the gym floor, doing weights, which was just epic. And I loved it even more. I was her PT client for like 4 years. Because I just enjoyed it so much. And then, I just said to her, I was like, oh, how do I get into group fitness? How do you do it? And she was like, oh, you just like chat to the GFM. They'll like, stalk your Instagram and like, like make you do a little audition like for a track or whatever. And then, I just did it. And then they were like, yeah, sweet. Well, we've got a spot if you want it. And then I did group fitness. And then when I started doing group fitness and COVID happened, I just was like, oh, I'll just study to be a PT, just to like elevate my group fitness, just to have more knowledge. Yeah. And then I did the PT course. I did it at NZIHF, so NZIF. I just did like an evening school while I was working full time. And it was like practical, like in person, which I found really cool. So did that and then chatted to the PTM at Les Mills and I was like, oh, look, if I like, quit my job or go part-time, like, would you have me as a PT here? And originally he said no, which was I was like, shit.
Is he still there or she?
He is. No, he is. No, he's great. He's great. But he was kind of like, oh, look, we've got enough PTs at the moment. But I was like, no, that's cool. Like I really was still really keen. And for me, I guess like looking elsewhere for PT at the time for me, like didn't make a lot of sense. Because I taught group fitness at Les Mills, like a lot of members, like another reason I did it was because a couple of members came up and they were like, oh, are you a PT to my classes? We'd love to have PT sessions. And I wasn't. So I was like, it made sense for me to be there because people knew my face. It wasn't, I already had like a couple of like people wanting to PT with me. Anyway, and then I just like started hating like corporate life and travel. And I was like the manager of the store at and I just like wasn't enjoying it anymore. So I decided to leave and go PT. Nice. Yeah, which was awesome.
Was that a hard jump? Like, were you freaking out about it?
Oh yeah, 100%. So I still have like my foot in the door with travel because I just do 16 hours a week for that. But that's just like only because you get some quite good perks working in travel. So,
I can imagine, sure.
So I wasn't ready to let go of some of those, but that and then I actually moved to a different company, and so I just get to work like pretty much the hours I want there. So it works really well with PT for me. But it was real scary, like going from like having like quite a secure job to then going totally self-employed, and I knew nothing like about money, taxes, or, all of that kind of stuff. So it was a pretty steep learning curve. But I guess I had like a little bit of knowledge from my group fitness instructor because Les Mills contract out to instructors as well. So I had like a little bit of knowledge around that. But nothing on the scale of like actually like, paying yourself. And
just like a general like issue, right? Which is kind of why we started this thing. Like, think back at your studies, like not a lot of it is like based around the business aspect. There's a lot about like exercise prescription and programming, and all these other little things. And you like, sprinkle salt of business in the side and then you're like, oh, well, you're ready to go. So it's a very common thing for sure.
I feel like we have like a similar kind of like start to like, just with the like having the background in the group fit, you gain like a good like bunch of knowledge around like the hard skills like queuing, movement, and like being in front of people and stuff. So it's like that side of the business is almost taken care of, like the stuff that actually changes people's lives.
Yeah.
And then the business side I could kind of like really dive into because this was okay. Like I had all these skills here, but the business side was a bit of a learning curve. Like you said, it's quite steep. Yeah,
for sure. And also just like doing it yourself, like seeing how much you like, because before your taxes just get taken off and you get paid, right? And then like now you're like, oh my god, like that's how much I have to pay. What?
This isn't my money. What?
Yeah.
It's a very stressful way.
Yeah. What did you think? Like just going back, what did you think of your time when you were studying? How did you like that? Did you enjoy it? Did you get heaps out of it? Do you think that it like paid off?
Yeah, for sure. Like I I don't know how much you know about the NZIHF course, but
Not
like
too much.
yeah.
What did you do?
Not a lot. I used to go to NZIS and promote mentoring. I would like go talk to the new PTs and, they'd book in with me and would sit down and chat and stuff. But I'd never actually ventured to NZIHF, but it was actually part of the goal originally. But I've heard they're pretty similar.
I think so. Yeah. Because I looked at doing both, and the only difference was that NZIHF just had it on the evening that worked better for me. Honestly, like that was seemed to be the only difference. But yeah, I really enjoyed like doing they made it quite a lot. So you went away and you did a lot of like the reading, and then when you were in the classroom, it was quite practical, which was quite good. And they do sit quite heavily on like the consultation process, and they do go into business like that. You do learn about it, but I guess like it's just the doing it versus the reality of doing it, like looking at it in a textbook and actually doing it. But
applying those skills, It's quite different when you're like dealing with your own money in a real life situation.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, I think like I really enjoyed like the going in, and like all the other PTs, because it was kind of like a bit weird. It was during COVID time, so like we had to wear masks sometimes, and yeah, it was like real. And then like sometimes like if you had COVID, you weren't allowed to come, so you had to like FaceTime in, like someone would just FaceTime you and you'd like sit there like listening to the teacher. Like, yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, like we were both PTing like during COVID, like when it first hit and stuff. It was like, apart from like not knowing like what was going on, it was pretty chill, eh?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty chill. Like,
yeah, I had a lot of fun, but
but I feel like it was one of those things that you would just like ask your clients if they felt comfortable like coming in, and then from there it was kind of like, well, back to normal then. Yeah. We'll just work through it. We'll be all right.
Yeah, but also like I remember when the first one hit, and like I just remember like it must have been like a Tuesday or something. Maybe it was a Monday or something the first time. But anyway, I just remember just like seeing my clients like text me, just like one by one, just being like, "Hey, bro, like obviously you've heard the news. Like I'm not too sure how it's gonna go. Like I'm probably gonna have to pull pin on sessions and shit." And I'm just like, "There's nothing you can do, eh?
No, there's literally nothing you can do." I was like on a ferry from New Plymouth back to Christchurch to get to Christchurch before the first lockdown, and had nowhere to live. I found a flat in 2 days.
Oh my god!
Should have came live with me.
Yeah, well,
should have came mine.
And then you were like, "Shit, you're stuck with me for like 2 months now."
Yeah, legit. So I literally moved into these random people because they were like, "You can come view it," and then they were like, "Yeah, you're all good." And I have a dog, so I had to like find somewhere that was pet friendly. And yeah, because I was like,
"How were they, bro? How was that experience?"
It was all right.
How did it go?
That was all right.
How long did you stay?
Like 3 months.
Oh, yeah. I think that says it all. Shout them out. Shout those guys out.
No, let's cut that out. Can we cut that? It's made me feel uncomfortable. No, but it was pretty hectic. Like, they were like, because I was up in New Plymouth playing basketball, and then our coach was like, COVID's hitting New Zealand at the moment. Everything's as per normal. Like, we're going to have training tonight, blah, blah, blah. And then the next day, they brought us all into the boardroom, and they put everyone's name on the board, and they were like, "These are all the signed players. These are all the unsigned players." And then they were like, "You guys' contracts are null and void. COVID hit. We're done." Like, pretty much.
Full-time contractors.
Yeah, everyone, every single
God.
person that was on the list, full-time contract. They were like, so the contract's like been completely cancelled because of COVID, and we're not sure what's going to happen. So like, good luck. And I was like, damn. So I like booked a ferry, packed my truck up, chucked my dog in it, drove to Wellington, stayed in Wellington the night, got on the ferry, drove from Picton to Christchurch.
Were you like crying and shit, or were you all good?
No, I was all good. I was chilling. I guess it was like, it was.
You listened to J. Cole, like Love Yours a lot on that trip.
That's correct. But like, it was more one of those things where
He didn't say no.
Yeah, because he's not wrong.
Yeah,
he's not wrong. It's more one of those things. Like, I feel like at the start we were all like, "Nah, it'll be all right." Like everyone was kind of like, "Nah, it'll pass. It'll be fine. We're not going to get hit in New Zealand. Surely not."
What about when they were pouring all the like Coronas out? Do you remember that? The beers.
Oh, what?
Do you not remember that?
I don't even think I remember.
Like,
that.
get rid of all your Coronas.
Yeah, because we used to call it like coronavirus.
Yeah,
hey? Like,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like, and if you called it COVID, you were like this, like the smart people
Scientists,
who called
though.
it
Yeah,
COVID. Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, it was a hell of a first COVID for me. That was stressful as hell. was on the phone to like 16 real estate agents all at the same time, like trying to get a flat. I'm like trying to make them feel a bit like sorry for me. I'm like, I've got nowhere to live. Like,
They're like, bitch, no one does.
Yeah.
It's an epidemic.
yeah. You and 40 other people on my line right now. I'm like, golly. Anyway, that was a bit off track. My bad.
Yeah, no. it's all
Anyway,
good.
Polly, run us through like, what does a day in a life look like for you?
Yeah.
Run us through.
Cool.
Yeah.
So generally oh my gosh. So I guess it kind of depends what I'm doing, but I'll wake up. I generally like training people in the morning. Like I'm not really an evening person. So I like to like get in the morning, like ideally like finish at 2:00 and then I'm out the door.
Damn. It's crazy.
I spent like 3 years trying to shuffle my client base into the mornings, and just at the start of this year, like managed to shuffle it.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, how do you, like, I reckon if you try training in the morning, you feel way
Yeah.
better. Hey?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Like, and then they're coming in at like midday, like this ain't the morning.
Yeah. Still there at 1:00.
Making them
like,
take their lunch break early. And
Yeah.
I said that's like probably one of the good things of COVID because so many people can work from home now, right? So so many of my clients can like, oh yeah, I'm working from home, so I just come whenever. Like they don't have to come like before or after work. So I like to do it. I have like one day where I do evening sessions just for the people who genuinely can't get up in the morning. So I understand. But yeah, so I'll normally wake up. I like to have like a little morning routine. Like I have all my clothes laid out the night before and like, just get up. Like I'll make a smoothie generally. Breakfast, and then I'm really walking you through like hour by hour.
Yeah, no,
So-
that's
like, that's exactly what
Okay, cool.
This is like one of those get ready with me.
Cool. Nice. Like make a smoothie, or generally I've made it the night before because I want to wake up my partner like in the morning. Like, I'm a nice person. And then I drive like 5 minutes down the road to Lisbon, which is great.
Oh, you drive?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I was gonna say like, oh, not like us, but then you just like give her the response instead. You don't walk or
In the summer and stuff.
I mean,
probably
like
walk.
like it's 5:30 in the morning, so it's dark and dangerous.
From my understanding, I don't even, to be honest, my geography of Christchurch is still like terrible. I know I've been here for like 5 years, but it's in town. Is it in the centre?
Yeah.
What's like
pretty much.
parking and
I
stuff
don't
like?
even know where it is, to be honest.
Yeah,
Parking's all good.
Yeah, no, parking's fine. Don't know if I should say this on the podcast, but like we're not supposed to park. I just park in the car park at the gym, so we're not supposed to do that.
We can cut that.
Yeah, maybe
We'll
don't
beep
for
it
then.
out. We'll beep
No,
it out.
okay. No. I do own a bike, but I don't bike. I used it for like 6 months with like every intention of being like, yeah, I'll save petrol and like, yeah, it's way easier for parking.
Yeah.
Nah.
It didn't last long.
Yeah, nah, not at all.
We're only human, eh?
Yeah.
Even PTs.
Literally. But nah. I guess you get there early enough in the morning, it's easy enough to find a park. So,
What's like, what time do you typically start?
like clients?
Yeah, clients, yeah.
Like 6 a.m.
Cool.
Yeah. I did have a couple of 5:30s, but I actually, like, same as you, I guess it's like ever evolving. I shuffled. I've just shuffled some people. So now I actually have like Thursdays. All I do is I teach a class and I'm done. So, because I was going like classes, clients, classes, and it's actually like a different mindset to be in when you're teaching group fitness and teaching and coaching as a PT. So I was actually finding it like quite not difficult, but like, you know, it was quite draining like on your brain to kind of do that. So I decided to shift some people. So now I just have like one big day on a Tuesday. But yeah, I'll start clients at 6 a.m. at the moment generally. And my rule I try to stick to is I'll only try to do like 4 back to back. Because by the time I've spoken to 4 people for either like half an hour or 45 minutes, I'm like, if you get me on my 5th client, I feel really bad for you because I'm like done. I need at least like half an hour just to like either eat, drink my smoothie, like go get some more food. So yeah, sometimes I have like my regulars who are pretty much like all blocked out in the morning, and then my middle of the day I get a lot of like I train a lot of doctors and nurses. I don't know if it's because it's close to the hospital or you guys have the same thing, but like they do shift work, so they'll switch a little bit. Then I like to go home for lunch, so I drive 5 minutes back to and
Back
home. And then like my partner, he does come home for lunch as well. So like sometimes we'll have lunch together. And then just depending on sometimes I'll like just chill and that's my day done, or like on a Tuesday it's my late day, like I'll go back but I'll be done by like 6:30 in the evening, I have a rule like no after 7 p.m. on that Tuesday. Yeah, and I guess so Friday morning I teach grit and core. So that's like my Friday morning, and that was my very first class I ever got given. So it's like my like little baby that I love. So I love that. I love my Friday mornings, and like his Friday. So
And that's Friday as well.
Yeah,
eh?
Friday,
Yeah.
yeah.
So cool.
it's so good. So yeah, I teach that class. Other classes I teach a step class on a Monday. With like my really good friend Holly. She's a PT at Les Mills as well. We started at like the same time, so that was really cool. And we actually did our course together. So we teach that together, and I teach a ceremony class, which is like a circuit class, and then I teach a shapes class, which is like Pilates kind of class as well. So yeah,
Cool. Busy.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
it's kind of like all a mix of that.
Yeah. You mentioned like a little bit about things that you've implemented already, like just to make sure you're not burning out and like making sure that you're keeping your quality or like your service at a high quality.
Yeah.
How important was that for you? And like, what made you? Was there a certain point where you like realized, shit, I can't like 4 hours or 4 back-to-back clients is kind of it? Was there a point that you can remember where you're like, shit, okay, this is
Yeah, like even probably like, to be honest, like more recently than like earlier on, like I actually booked, I think I did like 7 clients back to back, and I got to my last client and I was just like, after it, I was like, man, I feel bad because like that you just got like the shittest version of me. Like, you know, obviously you still like chat away, but man, I was cooked. Like just, especially like, because I'm sure you guys get this, like if you get people, when you PT, you know, you get so close to someone and you really get to know them, like, and if they're having like not the best day, which can happen, and a lot of people I find like PT is like their time, like that's their space. So they can unload on you quite a lot, which is totally cool because that's what we're here for, right? That's like half of it. But like, you know, when you've particularly, you know, you have some people who, if that happens 7 times in a row, you're like, whoa, like I need.
Yeah, if it's just been a bad day for whatever reason, and you're just like copying it. Yeah, we do like. I personally like tend to like carry a lot from my clients, because like you put a lot into them, man. You put a lot into them. Whatever problems they come up with, like you're trying to fix them, even though it's not like you're not a psychologist there, and you're trying to
But
trying to coach this.
you almost feel like, you know, it's like your part to play, right? Because you help positively affect so many other attributes in their life, and you're like, they come to you and they want to talk to you. So it's like,
yeah, it's a good thing.
It's like a good thing, but then like, you like do end up taking quite a lot of weight, and it can be mentally draining for sure.
We've had conversations about it too, just in terms of like having that. It's just like the ability to just like go kind of like into like autopilot and just like no matter what you're feeling or how shit your day's been, just like give them the best half an hour or hour, 45 minutes of their day. It's like this crazy just like thing that you can slot into.
Yeah, it's weird. Hey,
Which leads me to my my next question. How, like, when you're at the end of your day and you're so cooked, how does your partner like deal with that? Like when you're so out of words, like you've talked to like 500 different people during the day. How's he been?
Yeah,
like,
no,
with that?
yeah, no, definitely. Like I'm you know, like kind of like an extroverted introvert type thing. Like once you've like given have you guys said this before? Or like,
We're like the same. Like,
okay,
I guess a lot of the things we do, we seem extrovert, but like we're very introverted as well.
Yeah. Must be like a PT thing.
Yeah, maybe
must
it
be,
is.
Yeah. But yeah, so like sometimes I'll get home and I'll just be like, don't speak to me. Don't speak to me. I'm incredibly lucky. Like, so I'm a really bad cook. Like real bad.
Oh damn.
Like yeah, I know. Like not good. Like talk to my my ex flatmates and they're like, yeah, girl, man, you're like you need to do something about that.
You get takeaways on your night.
I'm like beans on toast, spag bowl, like chicken fajitas. That's it. Like and like, you know, I just put the chicken in the oven with all the things and then like take it out and like I'm like, what could go wrong? Put it in a wrap. I like anything in a wrap. Like yeah,
Simple.
but yeah. Anyway, but my partner loves to cook, right? So and he's real good at it. So when I get home, he's normally like cooking and doing his thing in the kitchen, and like we normally have this thing like I'll come in and I'll be like, okay, I just need like some time to like decompress and like chill if I've had a big day on a Tuesday, and then he he'll like normally be good in the kitchen, but like sometimes he'll just be like, "So chef," like, and he was sous chef, and I'm like, "Right, what do you need?" Like, and what I'll chop something, and then he like criticizes my chopping, and I'm like, "I'm only human." Yeah. But no, he's pretty good. It's just like being pretty chill. And then like the weekends is what we save. Like we save because I'm pretty strict. I don't take clients on weekends. Like just set boundaries up with that. And so like the weekends are like our time. And I have like when I get a lie-in in the morning on a Wednesday. So Wednesday's like I get a bit of a lie-in. I don't go to work until 9. And we like have breakfast together, and you know, like we just have those little things, like just those moments that I think it's just important to have like boundaries set. So like he knows that I won't take any clients on the weekend because that's our time. So I'm just like really strict with that. Like even if you're super tempted to, you know, want someone because they can only train on a Saturday, like it's just having those boundaries.
Which is tough to wear because like at some points when you are like in a bit of like a lull, just with like clients getting dropped off, like sometimes you do go, oh shit, I probably need that session, eh? So it's tough to do.
Yeah,
it's tough to do
really
to just
tough.
like trust the process and be like, nah, I'm gonna leave it there. It'll come back.
Yeah, and it take like I didn't do that at the start either. Yeah. Like I would say yes to anything.
Yeah,
like, yes,
100%.
Yeah. So like it's definitely like it definitely took me like, you know, I've probably only just started getting really like better at that, to be honest. Yeah, for sure.
And saying that, like, how long has it now that you've been specifically PTing outside of group fitness?
Mm-hmm. So 2 years I've been PTing. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I guess like not like heaps, not as long as you guys, but also like in
I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, about a decade.
Long time. Yeah. Just like a whole decade. Yeah. Okay. So let's ask a question. What would be your top 3 pet peeves you see in the gym?
Just are you talking like in general at the gym?
Like in general,
like
you could be, doesn't have to be like a client, could look, you could be like just like watching around, or you could be working out and just like, you know, gazing and like, well, how the hell is that person doing that thing? What would your top 3 be?
Yeah, okay.
Or like even just like mannerisms or things that people do that you're like, okay, that kind of annoys me. Yeah.
Like people who are like on machines and they're on their phones for a real long time. Yeah. Like, you know, just like
when you're with your client.
Yeah, and I'm like,
needs that,
use that machine. Like I can only freestyle so much.
Yeah.
I need that. Always have a backup with dumbbells.
Yeah.
Always have a backup with
Always
dumbbells.
something.
Because you can always find those. Especially when it's like 5 o'clock on the gym floor and you're like, every machine. And people who, this one really gets me. I don't know if it's very, like people who just leave weights on machines, but like leave like excessive amounts of weights on machines or just don't like clear them away. Like, you know, like some dude's just been leg pressing like 200 kgs and just leaves all the 20 kg plates in there. And
you can just tell like he does the same shit at home, eh? Like,
yeah. I feel like, I don't know about you, but like, I feel like when we come in early, I spend like the first half an hour like cleaning the gym.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm like trying to do stuff with my clients and shit everywhere. I'm like,
Les Mills isn't 24 hour?
Nah, it's not. No.
Yeah.
That's a good point, eh? Because obviously flexes are.
And yes. It's like we get in 5:30 and you're like, we'll go use the leg press. And I'm like, there's like 40 20s on there.
Niggly,
And I'm like, why am I cleaning the gym at 5:30 in the morning? It's like a common thing that happens all the time. But yeah, that does annoy me too.
Yeah, I guess because you get those people, like if someone comes in at midnight.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are a few gym bros and young fellas that like come in at like 9, 10 o'clock, you know, and work out.
Yeah.
And that they obviously don't care because no one else is in the gym at that
there,
time.
Yeah. Right.
But
yeah. Yeah, nah, that doesn't, to be fair, it probably doesn't happen as often maybe as it happens to you, but
you got one more.
Be high up there. Oh my gosh.
One more to give us.
Like, we can cut it if we need to. If it's crazy.
No. I was just like the only other thing. I don't know if it's like just people who smell real bad, like just like excessively bad. Like, you know, when they're like in one area of the gym and you're like, okay, well, I can't go over there.
Yeah, it's just that, and you know it's that. You know who it is.
Yeah. And I like, part of me like feels a bit bad because I'm like, does anyone tell you? Like, yeah.
But then part of me's like, surely you can tell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's hard, eh? Like, because you don't want to be rude.
You're like getting dizzy and shit.
It's like I am. Not to faint.
Yeah, they're probably my top 3. What's the like coolest one you guys have ever heard? Or like the most common?
I feel
The
like
weights thing. The most common one's the weights thing.
okay.
yeah,
yeah.
I feel like yours are pretty like in the common ground area
Okay,
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Okay, nothing outrageous.
What's yours?
The phone thing is definitely one. More so, it's more so just like you've got those like younger people that are in the gym and they're like, you know, trying to be the next C-bum.
Yeah.
D-bum.
Or
I mean,
D-bum.
what? But then they like you literally watch them and they're just like swiping TikTok in their sets. And I'm like, you just don't care that much. Like you act like you care, but you just don't care, bro. If you're swiping, you're not focusing on what you're trying to do or what your goal is. But I don't know. When you've been doing this thing for that long, you kind of just like learn to like shrug it off. Like I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
Oh, do you know mine? When you get say like clients and they think part of your job is to strip their weights.
Oh
You know?
yes,
When
bro.
they like won't do anything, they'll just sit there.
Bro.
I'm like, bro, in my head, it used to piss me off real bad, right? It used to piss me off real bad.
yeah.
But then I started thinking, I'm like, bro, if you want to pay me this much money to like strip your weights, takes 10 minutes out of the whole session. Bet.
Yeah,
I'll run
yeah.
it.
Like I get that, like obviously it's part of the service, right? But like it's funny when like they finish a set and then they literally stand there
Yeah.
and they just kind of like
Yeah.
look at you and watch you do it, and you're like in the corner of your eye, you're like, all good.
Yeah.
No, I was like, okay, all good.
Yeah.
Like it's just funny because they don't even like walk off to the next exercise, or they just like stand and look at you, and you're just like, okay, whatever.
Fucking like massive giant set, eh? Like
Yeah.
it took me 10 minutes to gather everything. But whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. I forgot about that.
For that money, they gon' reach all that money. When you reach the state of what we hit the big time.
Whoa.
Crazy. That was crazy stuff.